Hello guys, welcome to the Train Parrot. In today's top 10 coins moving the most, not just based on technicals but also on social aspects from Lunar Crash, are Popcat, Dogecoin, Stella, Fantom, followed by Thorchain, Turbo, Aave, Polkadot, Bittensor, and Optimism. In today's video, we are going to do TA on some of these coins. Clearly, they are benefiting from the pump that we are seeing on Bitcoin. Just hitting that 69 definitely got some of these altcoins looking for new highs. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put out one of these videos. And our last altcoin video was about Sui, Solana, and Uniswap, and it made it to 200 likes. Thanks so much for that, guys. I was moaning that on the one before we barely made it to 40 likes. And this clearly is showing the YouTube algorithm that this channel is not just about Bitcoin, but indeed is also about TA on any assets, altcoins, indexes, stocks. The whole point is to do strong TA using data and a little bit of a scientist twist to give the channel some spice. Today I'm going to focus on the largest caps that are here. I don't want to be doing every day these meme coins that are constantly coming to the tops. And then after they get dumped, they disappear for a month and get a lot of people trapped. The only exception is Dogecoin that somehow, against my predictions, managed to stay here for a quite long time. Not at the top 10, but coming back every now and then. It's considered kind of a previous generation meme coin, at least compared to Popcat, Turbo, and all the other coins designed to get you wrecked. Popcat currently is at altcoin 11. What is alt rank? Alt rank is a metric that is calculated using this website called Lunar Crash that I've been using not just for manual trading, but also for trading with bots using the bot assistant that picks the best coins to trade with platforms like 3, Week Hunter, Gainium, AltReady, using the Train Parrot subscription. Dogecoin is at alt rank 13. You may be wondering, where are the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? They're not appearing because we are using a filter of top 500 market cap and over 100 million traded today. So let's do some TA on Dogecoin. Dogecoin had a breakout from this trend line pretty early in July 1st this year. But since then, and after confirming the breakout, it's been just going sideways and accumulating hidden divergences. Luckily, mid-October, it managed to make finally a higher high relative to the highs of 52 on the RSI. And this is confirming that the breakout from the trend line weekly is still in place, it's not invalidated. We haven't put a lower low in here at the lows of RSI 41, which in the past have been holding the price as well during the bull market. We are reaching an area of RSI 59, which is quite healthy. And on the price action, we can see that the heavy resistance from March that rejected the price in July after the breakout from the RSI, managing to put some new lows in this area in here in September, a typical bearish month, it's finally retesting the level of 14. This is the second consecutive week that we are above it, and we could be heading to the level of 17, which was resistance in March a couple of times and multiple times in April and May. That is probably where we can find the order block that caused a move down of 52%. So that should be treated with respect for Dogecoin holders, especially if you are a swing trader. I think there is a good chance that we get there. We can use a trend line to protect the uptrend in here. Placing it below the RSI like this on the weekly will help us distinguish between a healthy retest and bounce versus a breakdown with a higher chance to continue going to the downside. At the moment, that support is roughly located at an RSI weekly of 55. We can see that that is slightly below the current support of 14 at around 13.77, so pretty much the same level. You can also tell that the signals coming from Lunar Crash when Dogecoin was hitting lows in terms of social signals is where actually was bottoming. On the weekly, we can see that the longs are starting to gain more confidence. There's a long way to go to the tops of longs at the moment. I usually look at the delta long shorts on the daily time frame because that gives me a little bit more insights whether we are going to see some sort of pullback where we are. On the daily, we should expect some moves down just because the longs are getting too overextended at the current price. That doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to break support and go to the next level of support, but it could mean that maybe within the day or within the next couple of days, we see a bit of pullback. The last time that we hit the tops of the delta, longs versus shorts, we print this red signal and we have at least 18% drawdown. So if we were to see something similar in here, we shouldn't really get that surprise. When there's too many longs, the market takes them out of the way before heading higher. Just to get a second opinion, we are going to use as well High Block Capital. This website provides loads of insights. This chart is available in the links in the description, but you're going to need to open an account since some of these indicators are part of the first paid tier. Luckily, in the description, there's a 15% discount. And if you are a swing trader, I think this is a must, at least for me. So what are the areas where Doge is not showing much healthiness for entering in a swing trade for a short-term entry and exit? Well, just like many other coins, and if you are following this channel, you probably hear this a lot during the past 1 to 2 weeks. And that is just because most of the coins have huge motivation to sell. People are thinking that we are approaching a top, and you can see that the ask liquidity in here is huge. People were asking me, what is ask? Ask liquidity is the order limits that are above the price with the expectation to get rid of their positions, to close them. Whether it's at profit or they are underwater, we don't know, but you can see that whenever we are touching these high levels of ask liquidity in March, in June, slightly in August, and now in October, we tend to see some turmoil, some topping. At that point, you see 38% after hitting the blue line here at the bottom. There is some distribution going on there, which eventually plays out and takes the price 46% down. With this top in here, that gets close to the trend line, but it doesn't touch it. It doesn't matter. It's still 40% to the downside. And here we are once again. The only caveat to this is that there is a chance that Bitcoin could break the highs. We are following that. If you watch my videos over the weekend, together with the one this morning, particularly where I'm covering what could come next for a swing trade for Bitcoin, there is a chance that we're going to hit those highs, in which case Dogecoin and many other altcoins might actually dodge the bullet. And the bullet is very high levels of open interest that you can see in here, similar to those topping areas. We got highs of open interest once again in here, ask liquidity, and big accumulation of liquidations below the price. Which ones are currently important levels below the price? Where you have 13.8, that is the support that we calculated with the RSI on the weekly. And then going beyond that, we have 12.7 and 12.6. So considering that this is Dogecoin and it's not Bitcoin, making a move down and take them all out with a just 15% to the downside is bread and butter for Dogecoin and many other meme coins. And I'm not telling you go on there, degen, and start shorting Dogecoin at this point, because as I explained, if Bitcoin gets away hitting the highs, Dogecoin might continue running strong, hitting some shorts in here before it takes care of business with these longs that enter earlier. Since my TA is pretty much paralyzing you, not being able to take a short, neither a long, so what should I be doing? Well, what I do is I look for areas of interest. For example, this area in here where you can see that there is accumulation of liquidations from longs. together with high ask liquidity, meaning people want to sell, people are there exposed to getting liquidated as a long, and suddenly the whales exit the market, then you can get a short with a higher level of confidence. Here we do have a high level of open interest, we do have longs liquidated, we have record levels of ask liquidity, but Bitcoin has a chance to break the highs. Sorry, but if you want TA that gets you wrecked, you have 1,000 billion channels in YouTube. I am here to make sure that you learn something. And sometimes when you learn something, you don't take a trade, and sometimes you miss profits, and sometimes you save yourself digging a hole in your pocket too. Let's go with the next one, and I'm gonna pick Fantom because people are constantly asking for that on the comments as well. On Fantom, we have done recently TA, so I have pretty much all the work done in here. I'm just gonna adjust this trend line that probably was just tracking the daily time frame. We're gonna adjust it to track the weekly time frame, which is where we are. We had the breakout on August 12th, and we've been respecting the trend line to the upside on this move, with the exception of today. In the last 13 hours, we started this candle that is breaking below the support. Let's see if it's really touching. Yes, now it is. And as you can see, I keep getting notifications of that CPR resistance being a work in progress. Pretty cool. If we were to close the week on FTM right below this trend line, that means that we are losing momentum. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Sometimes the rally can continue on the right hand side of the trend line for a little bit longer. Sometimes it hits the trend line and then dumps thanks to having lost momentum. The point is, be aware that Fantom is showing some weakness on the weekly, at least until now. Bitcoin is pushing higher, and sometimes it can take some of the cap from some altcoins because people translate their coins into Bitcoin when they see Bitcoin moving strong to the upside, and the same when it's moving to the downside. And that could be the case maybe if Bitcoin hits 74 and it holds above an all-time high. Fantom might revert this candle that is still in progress and push it as a support. That level is located at RSI 55. And you can see that we are testing it there after this red candle of rejection from a level of 77.45. If we were able to hold in here and get squeezed between that RSI and the next level of resistance, we could break out and hit the next level, which is 94, followed by 1.21. If we cross below that level and we start seeing that weakness, we could be heading to the next support, which is 54. You can see that multiple times it has been support and resistance. At the moment on the weekly, Fantom is at the top of amount of longs, and that means a heck of a lot of longs are right now on Fantom, and it wouldn't hurt at all to take some of them out so the weekly time frame can progress to the upside. On the daily time frame, some of them have already been taken out, as you will expect, thanks to the red candles that we were seeing in the previous week. This one in here. So if we continue going lower, we might enter on the daily delta longs and shorts to the area of interest right here, which means that too many shorts are in a position and it's potentially time to enter at a lower risk with a long. Let's look at the healthiness of Fantom on High Block Capital. By the way, this delta longs and shorts is one of my indicators that is included in the Train Parrot subscription, and it's part of the VIP bundle. Fantom, just like Doge, has a heck of a lot of ask liquidity. Longs are in risk, although we have to say that many of them have already been taken out, and this is coming down to a similar level that it got in here, but coming from 183 million, now only 41 million left of liquidations below the price, which is healthy, still not in the negative, still not with a delta exposing more the shorts, but it's good to see that they are being taken down, and potentially Fantom might be about to enter a golden price for a push higher. I wouldn't necessarily expect that this green in terms of amount of longs exposed to liquidations is necessarily gonna go into the red. You can see that there is on Fantom a transition where every single time there is less shorts and more longs. A similar thing we can see with a channel to the upside. So the longs reach a very small amount and then a higher amount. So we are in a channel of a transition into being long. Just be aware as well that the whales are starting to take some profits. So once again, we are in an area of weakness to enter, and it might be wiser to wait a little bit longer for a swing trade. If you are bullish on FTM on fundamentals, this doesn't necessarily apply to you. I typically just do DCA when I'm entering into a coin that I'm bullish without necessarily paying too much attention to the ups and downs that you see every week. And the last coin that I'm gonna cover today is Bittensor. This AI coin seems to be really bullish recently. It's got 3.88 billion market cap, almost double that FTM. So that shows you that in a very short time span, it has been able to overcome Fantom that is from the previous bull run. And Dogecoin has an impressive 21 billion because it's almost in the top 10. If it's not it's in the top 10 actually market cap. TAO doesn't have a lot of history when it comes to the weekly time frame. And at the moment, I think from the point of view of the RSI is getting very close to an area of interest. And that is an RSI of 49. So let's change this. And that support is right there at 431. We got very close at 463. It doesn't necessarily need to touch that support. There is already an ongoing support horizontal there that was resistance in May and in April. That's where we are currently holding at 478. But if that gets lost, 426 might enter in here at the rescue of TAO. That's because twice in a row we have already respected that trend line on the RSI. On the delta longs and shorts, we can see that we are at 71. That is pretty overextended for longs. So I guess that with these two candles in red of the past 2 weeks, we have been taking out some of those longs. We might be entering into the sweet spot for that reversal, either the support at 478 or the 426 right after that. Interestingly, TAO is upside down. TAO is showing that shorts delta is at a higher risk. So this could provide an interesting entry. Let's have a look a bit more into the ask liquidity. The ask liquidity is at record levels, even below the trend line starting from June. This means that there is a lot of people wanting to still sell TAO at these current prices. Limit orders are all over the place above the price, wanting to exit. Areas that were great to enter on TAO was when the bid liquidity was spiking in here in green. That means that the price was going down and people were getting bullish on TAO due to the opportunity provided by the 214 support 3 times in a row. And each and every time they were waiting there with limit orders to buy at those prices. In here, it was the highest level for 3 candles in a row on the daily time frame. They bought that and they are now enjoying a whole move to the upside. But they have some of those orders have turned now into limit sells. That's why it's ask liquidity. Open interest is resetting. If we see the trend line in here, it has broken that support and institutions are buying TAO. You can see that whales have entered roughly in June and they've been trading primarily with large accounts in this area in here. That's why it's called whales versus retail. Whales are defined by large amounts. At the moment, the whales are increasing, signaling that they might be due for another ride. Personally, I prefer to enter at extreme levels of opportunities on altcoins and not just follow what other people are doing. And I'm really hoping that very soon High Block Capital releases the alerts so I can get notified in areas like this with a composite signal, like big levels of bid liquidity with high levels of liquidations of shorts, with whales suddenly exiting the red area and into the green area. That can give a relatively higher opportunity versus just chasing this. By the way, I also see that this price action in here looks still like rolling over on the daily. So let's go in the chart to the daily. And I do not like this price action. I'm hoping that this is going to hold support in here and not just form the completion of a head and shoulders there, because that could take Tao down to 338. If that was the case, that could be a great buy relative to where we are in here. Of course, this could invalidate this pattern and then you will miss the train. So it's your call how much risk you really want to take on this sort of trades. At least I did my job and I show you what you need to know before you decide. And today I'm going to show you two exchanges of my preference. Bybit offers 30,000 in bonuses if you use the link in the description, subject to trading volume. If you open the account with that link in the description, you also get the lowest fees to trade on Bybit. And whatever you do, once you get your Bybit account with my link, connect it with my website so you get access to all the perks in my community, the Train Parrot, including a whole arsenal of over 100 different indicators I built through the years that I constantly use in my videos, and I also use under the hood to trade with my bots. This exchange, though, requires KYC pretty much everywhere you trade. If that's not something you want, have a look at Bluffin. On Bluffin, you can open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts in 5 minutes. No need for KYC, and I managed to negotiate still a very good bonus of $10,000 with them. Just make sure you use the link in the description to open that account or those accounts and then get less fees as well. That definitely helps the channel, along with any of the products that you can find in the description. Don't miss Highblock Capital 15% discount is right there as well. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Hey, don't go yet. Tonight, the update on Bitcoin is going to be in the channel Coin Bureau Trading. Yes, we are doing a collaboration with the Coin Bureau channel. We are increasing the number of trading setups. Make sure that you follow this channel if you want to follow up with what's going on with Bitcoin. 3 times a week, the Bitcoin video of the evening goes to this channel, not to the Trading Parrot. I'll see you later. Bye bye.